Hello and a very good afternoon to all of those who are watching me live on the Facebook page of News9. The reason why I'm here is while the entire world is fighting the deadly pandemic, the border tensions, however, between India and China are also on the rise. India is facing another confrontation with China over the escalating border row. We're going to speak more about it, but of course, many of you might be wondering what's the COVID-19 situation like in Karnataka. To give you a quick update on that, 299 fresh COVID-19 cases were reported till yesterday evening. With this, the state's total tally reaches to 3,221, and with 2 fresh deaths as well, the death toll due to COVID-19 in the state has risen to 51. Active cases, do remember, stand at 1,950. Now, coming back to our today's topic, which is Indo-China standoff. So, recently released photographs of the Galwan Valley, also located near the line of actual control in Ladakh, showed that the Chinese troops, in fact, if we have to talk about, the photograph showed Chinese troops build up in the area. The Galwan Valley here was an area of stiff standoff during the 1962 war with China. But after that, this is China's first attempt to make alterations on this part of the line of control since the 60s. From 1962 to till date, there was no activity per se, but now all of a sudden the tensions between both the countries seems to be rising. Earlier as well, it was also being said that Chinese troops have entered 3 to 4 kilometers into the Indian territory. Do remember, as per the agreement between the two countries, not even a single bullet is fired, but reports of sticks and iron rods being used have come to light. Now, to speak more on this, I have with me, joining me live on this Facebook, interactive session, is none other than the Air Marshal B.K. Murli. Thank you very much, Air Marshal, for joining me live on this Facebook page of the News9, and a very good afternoon to you. Now, do tell us what exactly is happening between India and China, and is this standoff more dangerous than the Doklam?
Yeah, good afternoon, Neha. It's nice to be back with the News9. You know, after the 1962 war, in October 1962, the Chinese completely took control of Aksai Chin, and then the Galwan Valley is actually adjoining the Aksai Chin area. And next to the Galwan Valley is Pangong So or Pangong Lake, and which actually is a part of the eastern Ladakh. Now, over a period of time, they have come right up to the Galwan Valley, and they are now claiming that the entire valley belongs to them. And the Pangong So Lake, or the Pangong So as it is called, now they are laying a claim for that particular lake, and they have actually constructed hardened bunkers and various tents and then military equipment on the other side, including a helipad. Now, since 1962 war, actually, this is a very dangerous development and extremely a development which has actually caused concern in the Indian quarters. Now, over a period of time, majority of us know that we share close to 4,200 kilometers border with China, and there are so many places where there is a lot of dispute. And in the recent days, after the COVID broke out, things have become really bad between India and China. Now, we were all under the, assumption that after the 2017 Doklam standoff for 73 days, probably the Chinese would have learned a lesson. But unfortunately, no, they are trying to push. And now there is a new claim of the entire Galwan Valley and the, Pangong Lake in the eastern Ladakh. Their contention is that, look, you do not own this area. The lake belongs to us, and even the south side of the lake belongs to us. And that means, which is as good as saying that, look, the entire eastern Ladakh is ours.
All right.
So this is the situation between China and India as on today.
So what you're saying, Air Marshal, is that China is basically preparing to lay a ground to claim a portion of Ladakh, a part of Ladakh.
Neha, this is, in my opinion, a diabolical plan, diabolical geopolitical game plan of China. In fact, many military thinkers and strategic affairs experts they say that China is trying to create what is known as a string of pearls around India. String of pearls means areas of influence around India. Whether it is, Pak-occupied Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan, or whether it is Tehran, or it is, Myanmar, or it is, Nepal. In the southern side is Maldives and China and Sri Lanka. So China is trying to create a string of pearls around India, and this is done with a specific purpose. They want to dominate the South Asia. They want to become a dominant power, and they look at India as an irritant. They, whatever plans Chinese have, all the nefarious plans, India is not going along with that, and they think that India is creating a nuisance. But the entire, unfortunately, the gamut of activities is very dangerous, and it does not augur well for both the countries.
All right, but the fact of the matter is that coronavirus emerged from China, Air Marshal. So why is it that all of these activities one gets to witness now? Is it perhaps a plan, well thought of plan by the China to divert the attention from the fact that it is liable, the country is liable to answer millions others?
They have actually, you have put the nail right on the head. This is a $64 million question. Why now? And that too after the COVID outbreak. Why now? In fact, Chinese have taken objection to the road that we built, 255 kilometers road from Shok, Dabruk, right up to the Daulat Beg Oldie. In fact, this road did not come up overnight. It's been happening since 2000. And in 2019, our Raksha Mantri inaugurated this road. And in addition to that, in 2020, early 20, we started building a feeder road so that from eastern Ladakh, right from Leh onwards, our troops can move on to the main road, that is a Dabruk Daulat Beg Oldie road, and they can reach the Daulat Beg Oldie, which is about 8 kilometers south of the Karakoram highway. Now, this road has been there for now years and years and years. Now, all of us are taking objection, and they're asking us, why are you building a road? Now, the whole thing is so silly and ridiculous. But then one can actually see a game plan, Chinese game plan in all this. Now, look at what has happened after the COVID outbreak. Now, today, China is at the receiving end. In fact, the entire world is now against what happened in the Wuhan lab, and they want a fair investigation carried out. After so much of reluctance, now China has agreed to it. India is a part of that investigation. Our Harshvardhan is the chairman of the WHO standing committee. That is Dr. Harshvardhan, our health minister. And on top of that, recently in our India map, we showed Aksai Chin as our area, and we also showed Gilgit-Baltistan and the Pak-occupied Kashmir as a part of India. All these things probably have irked the Chinese. But whatever it is, the Chinese game plan, which has been put in place after the COVID-19 outbreak, is extremely, one can say interesting and also very unfortunate. In fact, all of a sudden they have realized that there is a road being built, our troops are being moved, and our patrolling is intensified.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Air Marshal, and the worst part is that they're trying to put the onus on India. They're saying that we are doing nothing. It's the Indians who instigated us.
Yeah, but then, that's a typical Chinese game plan. This is nothing new. In fact, they have been saying it for now ages. Whatever ills or whatever wrong they do, they make India responsible. Now, actually, they said exactly the same thing in Doklam. They said, why are you here? This belongs to us, you go back. Leave alone Doklam. In fact, on the 9th of May, there was a fist-to-fist fight between Indian forces and Chinese forces in the same place. In the Nakula area, where they said Sikkim belongs to us, you're not, go back from here, when a young lieutenant of the Indian Army, jumped on a Chinese major and thrashed him. So this has been happening now at regular intervals, and there have been as many as 163 Chinese incursions in the year 2020 alone, in this year. So it is nothing new, but only thing is the rate at which they are doing and the aggressive posture of Chinese is what is bothering everyone.
All right.
Chinese posture towards India has not changed at all in the last about 2 decades. Whereas in India, our policies keep changing at the drop of a hat. Today there is something, tomorrow there is something else, and our every single foreign policy, decision is contested within the country itself by somebody else. So Chinese are taking advantage of all this, and now they are slowly moving towards the Pangong Lake, and they want to take over the entire lake and the Galwan Valley, which is
So what is it that we're looking at when it comes to the border dispute now, Indo-China dispute? What are we looking at?
Yeah, Neha, one thing we must understand very clearly. Today, there is no demarcated line of actual control between China and India. There is no demarcation. In fact, when the Chinese troops enter Indian territory, they can pitch a tent and say, oh, this belongs to us, you go back, this doesn't belong to you. In fact, it is a matter of perception. You will remember in 2003, our Prime Minister, late Atal Bihari Vajpayee, went to China, said, look, let us actually put a mechanism in place where we demarcate the borders, and then we actually start constructing fences and roads or whatever it is, so that this kind of a problem between the two countries is resolved once and for all.
All right.
Since 17 years, they have done nothing. They don't want to do it because it suits them. There is no line of control, and today they are saying that the line of control runs through the Galwan Valley. All of a sudden, the line of control has come to Galwan Valley. They say, no, it runs through the Pangong, so it belongs to us. So now, after some time, they will even come inside and say the line of control is in Eastern Ladakh. So this is the problem with China. And in the recent days, what all has happened. In fact, India is not the only country which has a border problem with China. There are 26 other countries. Now they are everywhere. South China Sea, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and they have got a problem with Australia. They have got a problem with Japan, with Mongolia. So they have a problem all over, and this problem has become more and more aggressive after the COVID-19 outbreak.
All right, all right. Thank you very much, Air Marshal. A rather very informative session with you. Thank you very much for joining us on the Facebook live of live page of News9. And I hope this session was interactive as well as very informative for all of you. Thank you very much for watching this Facebook live with me, Neha Ban. And do not forget to subscribe our YouTube, like us on Instagram, Facebook as well as Twitter. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe.